Boogie, drop that beat.
Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, Talking Out Loud with Miss Talkative. Everything I say is my own opinion, alleged, and strictly entertainment purposes. Remember, I'm just talking out loud. Please like, share, subscribe, comment on the video, let me know what you think. Y'all, Todd and Kandi divorce, it is not a surprise to me. Not at all. I actually, looking back, and I said it from the beginning. I said, I wonder how long this is going to last. I do believe that Kandi was all in, but I also believe that Kandi was smart about having her prenup in the beginning. But my thing is, there were so many red flags when it came to Todd signing the prenup. Like Kandi said, she wasn't asking for anything. She wasn't asking him to give her a dime, but she wanted to protect what she had built as well. And Todd, he just kept on saying, it's not about your money. I don't want your money. But my thing is, if you was coming into the marriage with a pure heart, no intentions, just for the love of Kandi and to be married to Kandi, I believe that the prenup wouldn't have fazed Todd at all. When Todd talking about he had money saved up and he had things going on, I mean, he did admit that his stuff that he had going on was not as big as what Kandi had going on. I still believe that if everything was on the up and up with Todd, the prenup that Kandi wanted him to sign in the beginning would not have been an issue. Him having to get out of her house in a certain amount of time if things didn't work out, he wouldn't have paid that a second thought, because he still has the apartment in New York. It wouldn't have been nothing for him to pack up and head back to New York until he figured things out. And if it get to that point, well, people know when it's getting to that point where you need to be getting ready to make a move, or I'm quite sure they've had talks and stuff like that. So I believe that he would have had time before the 30 days, not having 30 days and stuff like that. If she had said, you know what, I want you out of here, I'm filing for divorce, he would have had time. My point is, if it wasn't about the money, Todd wouldn't have had a problem with with signing the prenup. I understand him having a lawyer look over it. Yes, protect yourself at all means. But at the same time, I believe that if Kandi is not asking you for anything, then what's so hard about it? What is so hard about it? So that was a huge red flag. And I remember on an episode early on on Real Housewives of Atlanta, when they were married, Todd asked Kandi, is everything good? He was like, are you good? Everything's good. He's like, we good. The money good. And I'm like, why do he always go there about money? Todd is always talking about money. Kandi already was secure, whether she was in the marriage or not. She had a nest egg built up. But everybody want to blame it on Kandi's family, Mama Joyce and stuff like that. That's another reason why I believe that Todd didn't come with a pure heart. Because the way Mama Joyce and Kandi family was dogging him out, I believe that he was like, I'm going to stick with this as long as I can and be the opportunist that I am. I need a hand up. And so if I got to suffer through Mama Joyce critiquing me, downing me, dogging me out to get where I need to be, then I'm going to do that. Any other man would have been like, you know what? You're going to have to nip this in the bud, because this is not what I'm about to tolerate every day, all on social media and everything. And I understand it comes with the territory, and I understand how your mama is. And I understand that you can't control your mama, but at some point in time, if you want this thing to work out between me and you gonna have to silence your mom, because she's not going to continue to come for me. And can't bring everything that you bring to the table, but doggone it, I'm here at the table. I believe that Mama Joyce, I believe that she is overprotective over Kandi and her money. But I looking at Kandi's dating history, and how it's as established as Kandi is, and the guys that she's been involving herself with a couple of times, I believe that Mama Joyce has a reason to be concerned. Because remember, Todd quit his job on Real Housewives of Atlanta, being a producer, to actually move forward in their relationship, to bring their relationship to the forefront. He quit his job. So my thing is, if he quit his job, then I understand, yes, he can get another one somewhere else, but at that very moment, he quit his job. So it's like, I'm gonna quit my job and do what I need to do, follow Kandi, be up under Kandi and stuff like that. And I believe that the breakdown in their marriage is the fact that the Real Housewives of Atlanta checks stopped coming in. I believe that's the bit of it all. Because when they had the Real Housewives of Atlanta checks coming in, all of Todd business ventures were being funded. No problem. They was, staying afloat on everything. They was opening up restaurants. Todd coming up with all these projects and stuff like that. Because it's mighty funny that all of the businesses that Kandi had built before she got with Todd, she still has all her businesses, Kandi Coated Nights and stuff like that. She still have her studio, everything. You don't hear about the landlords and stuff like that, coming out saying Kandi owe X amount of dollars for rent or anything. I believe that all of Todd business ventures were starting to fail because Todd was doing too much. He was putting his hand in too many things at one time, instead of focusing on one thing at a time, getting it up to standards before moving on. He was trying to hurry up and build a brand like he had somewhere to go, like he was in a rush. Let me build all these businesses so I can get on or I can shine, so I don't keep on having to be punked, or I don't have to keep on being Mrs. Kandi Burruss. But everything that Todd had a helping hand in, every business that he was building up or trying to build up, they all failed. And I believe because the Real Housewives of Atlanta checks stopped coming in, I believe Todd probably, my opinion, he probably asked Kandi to dip into her personal nest egg to either help him fund something or to help him keep something that he already has afloat. And Kandi probably was like, nope, not doing it. That's my money. And Todd didn't take that very well, because he thought that after 11 years of marriage that everything was all good. But it can't be all good if Kandi did not keep Todd close to her for nothing. I believe Kandi knew, she kind of had a feeling who Todd was, but once the Real Housewives of Atlanta checks stopped coming in, I believe Todd showed his true colors. I believe his true colors came out. And even though all of the businesses that they built together, or that he had a helping hand in, even though those were going down the drain, I believe he still felt as though that Kandi was going to continue to back him in whatever he wanted because they had been married so long. And Kandi was like, hold up, not so fast. And I believe that that's where things started to break down when the Real Housewives of Atlanta checks stopped rolling in, because that was a nice sum of money coming in every single year that Todd had access to. And once it stopped, I believe all heck broke loose in that household, because Kandi was still able to, do her stuff and keep her businesses afloat and keep her lifestyle afloat. But Todd, everything that he had going on, I believe that it started to fail. And even though, Kandi is is the headliner in the marriage, basically, I believe that she let Todd, run things, and, and he wasn't running them well because he was doing too much, too soon, too fast. Instead of nursing one thing up to par, he wasn't doing it. He thought he was Mr. Man, and he thought he was Mr. Big Shot, Mr. Big Producer. And as long as the money was flowing, he was steadily doing, because when they was doing Old Lady Gang restaurant, it took forever and a day to get that restaurant built up. What was Todd doing? They had the money. It was all on go. Everything was a green light for him. But it took forever. And people was trying to tell Kandi, this don't take that long. But, Kandi was letting Todd handle that. But now that, and I believe that Kandi let him do him because they had the money flowing in. But once them Real Housewives of Atlanta checks stopped rolling in, I believe she put a stop to it. And all hell broke loose. And Todd True Colors came out. And she was like, oh no, I'm not finna put up with this. Let me go head on. If that's what you think about to happen, let me go head on and file for divorce now. But that's just my opinion. I'm just talking out loud. Please like, share, subscribe, comment on the video. Let me know what you think.